Welcome, everyone. I'm Coach Neshi with Shooting School Basketball, and you are listening to Meet Your College Hoops Coach. We bring on college coaches to talk about their school and their basketball programs. Today, we are happy to have with us Coach Tobin Anderson, the head basketball coach at St. Thomas Aquinas College. Coach just recently finished completing a 25-5 season, as well as finishing, I believe, Coach, is this your sixth consecutive 20-win season?
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations, Coach. Quite a feat.
Thanks.
And thanks for joining us, Coach. Good morning.
It's great to be here, Joe, with you.
Great. Coach, can you give us a description of St. Thomas Aquinas College?
Absolutely. So, and it's great to be here and great talking basketball. And it's, Joe, a great friend, and it's always good to see a friendly face during this time. So good to see you. But yeah, so St. Thomas. The funny part is when I looked at the job when I was leaving Siena, I didn't know about St. Thomas Aquinas College either. So I didn't know much either. So I've come to love the place. It's a great spot. We're in Rockland County, about 20 miles north of New York City. Small liberal arts school, which is kind of my background. It's about 2,000 or 2,200 students. Some commuters, some most of the athletes are on campus. Great campus, safe campus, nice place to live, nice safe area. It's got the best of both worlds. You have the city within reach where you can go into the metropolitan area and I could be in the Garden to watch the Knicks play. For some reason, if I ever want to watch the Knicks play, I could be at the Garden in 30 minutes. But I can also be in a nice suburban area that's safe, it's quiet, and a great place to raise a family. And the school's awesome. The school's it's a family atmosphere. It's a very it's a small place with small classes where you get to know people, know professors. Everybody knows us, knows our players. Our players feel comfortable there. So it's been great. Like, I love the school. I love the people that are here. And how it is, the people make the school. And so it's a great place. We're known for a lot of different, liberal arts school. We got 100 different majors, from criminal justice to education. Most of the teachers in this area come from St. Thomas Aquinas, so that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a really good thing for my kids as they get older. Hopefully, they can get some St. Thomas graduates who are teaching my own children, so they can do better in classes. But education, business, obviously, with our proximity to New York City, a lot of connections there, and our guys go a lot of different directions. Communications is a good major for us too. So it's a great place, great school, great area. I'm lucky to be here, and 7 years. I've been here for 7 years now. It flies by, but it's a great place to be.
Coach, what about if you could talk to us about your conference?
Yeah, so we're in the East Coast Conference, which is it's a really good, similar schools to St. Thomas Aquinas. So good Division II schools. The best schools in our league have been Bridgeport from Connecticut. We have a lot of schools in the New York area, like Mercy College, Malloy College, New York Tech, New York Institute of Technology. Get some outliers too. We have University of Washington D.C., which is great because it's down in the capital. You get a chance to recruit down there, and kids can kind of, kid from DC can play in front of his family and friends at least once a year. We go to Buffalo, Damon College. They do a great job up there. They're in our conference as well. Roberts Wesleyan is also in there too. So it's I think we just added college in Staten Island, which is a TJ Tibbetts.
Right.
They're going to do a great job. Great facility, nice place, and so we're happy to have them join us. So in the ever-changing conference movements, that happens in Division II too. Schools are coming and going, and we're happy to be in a good conference in our region. There's three conferences in our region. It's the CACC, which is more down south, kind of Delaware, Philadelphia area. The Northeast 10, which is up in Massachusetts, Connecticut, that area for the most part. And then the New York, the ECC, which is around the New York City area, but the little Buffalo connection, little DC connection. So it's a good conference, very very competitive. We find we're challenged across the board from a lot of different schools. So good place.
Mm. And as far as the makeup, Coach, of your team, as regards to where your players come from, where do you do your recruiting predominantly, and how far do you stretch?
That's a great question, because we just signed a kid from Greece. Now it's funny with the whole quarantine. We have seven new guys coming to campus to school on scholarship next year. Not one of those guys has visited campus been on campus. You know, it's all
Wow.
been online. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you would never recruit like that before. So some guys recruited for a long time, and they knew us, we knew them. And we're like, oh, wait till the tournament's over, wait till March or April, we'll have you visit then. And then, of course, they shut things down. So we recruit everywhere. We're like you were at NYU, or I was at Hamilton. Like we've got guys our starting backcourt. One kid's from Mount Vernon, great high school, Mount Vernon, New York, which is half an hour down the road. And our other guys from South Carolina, from South Carolina down way down from AAU. Kid from Greece coming in, 2 kids from Venezuela, two really good players from Venezuela.
Wow.
With us, yeah. So internationally, 2 kids from Illinois, a kid from Peoria, a kid from Chicago. So I've been around. Like we were talking about offline, I've been around for a while now, so I've got quite a few connections. And the nice thing about being here is having the scholarships, because the scholarships are the, if I see a kid that I like and we want him in our program, and I can offer him a full scholarship, well, then that makes it a little bit easier to get him to come to school, as opposed to the financial aid piece and things like that.
Sure.
So we recruit nationally. I think my background helps a little bit there as far as having some connections in different parts of the country. And now we had a kid from Australia play for us for 4 years. He came to prep school first, but Australia prep school into here. But we've had guys from all over the place, and it makes it kind of fun. It's a very diverse school, St. Thomas Aquinas is, and so our roster, it's nice to have some diversity there, not only geographically, but also just the different makeup from all parts of the area.
Great. Yeah, interesting, Coach, but interesting times that we're faced with. Obviously, I would imagine there are more students that are making college decisions that may not have had the opportunity to visit campus. So, but it puts additional pressure on you and your staff to make sure that you connect all the dots with these young men and their families, where they're going to feel comfortable enough to make this decision to come and invest in being with you without coming on campus. But that's times that we're faced with right now.
I've done more talking on the phone though to kids. Like that's one nice thing. I probably got to know the players we're recruiting now better than I ever have in the past, because the phone or Zoom or FaceTime's all you have. So I probably spent more time talking to these kids, and I feel like it's like a long distance relationship. I feel like I know these kids really well, and a couple of them I've met in person before. But we've talked phone probably 20 times with their parents. We've done FaceTime calls. We've done virtual. I walked around campus holding my phone for virtual tours. Stuff you would never do in the past. But in a way, I almost feel more connected to them than some kids in the past. So it's been a different time. But I think it'll make us all better recruiters. And for the kids, it's been great to less based on an AU tournament or something like that, but more watching their high school team, watching tapes, dealing with their high school, talking to them directly. So that part's been good. But I actually feel very comfortable with the guys who are coming to campus. And but it's all different, like you said.
Yeah, Coach. What about now you're talking about you have these young men coming, but talk to us about how you determine what are quality players for your program as regards to their skills and what they can do on the basketball court. Like, what is it that you're looking for?
Well, I think you know me fairly well, Joe, that I'm a gym rat. I'm a basketball junkie. My dad was a coach, so I've lived in a gym my whole entire life. So I want guys who love basketball. I want guys who basketball is a big part of their lives. They want to be in the gym. They want to work hard. They want to get better. In Division II, we're trying to get guys who maybe fall through the cracks Division I wise, or are not recruited as heavily as certain guys. And so guys have a chip on their shoulder, want to prove people that they can play at a pretty good level. But guys want to get better. It's amazing to see a kid, from all your years of coaching and mine too, to see a kid as a freshman, how much better they can get from freshman year to senior year. And now with all this transfer and stuff and things, and that's fine, because there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer to have guys for 4 years who come in and who get better and who improve. So I think the love of the game, the love to work, the ability to work hard, it gets a skill. To be able to go into the gym by yourself and get better, especially this time with the quarantine happening, there's not as much organized stuff going on. So you got to figure out a way on your own to get better. So I love guys who love to play, guys who play hard. The guys who take charges, dive on the floor for loose balls, who set screens, who run the floor, all those things. You can't all be great scorers. So guys who play really hard, is obviously important to me as well. And then just kids that you love coaching, like, great character guys that are fun to be around. We've been lucky at St. Thomas. We've had a lot of good players come through here, and I'm still, amazed by the not only quality of players, but the quality of people we've been able to get. And when you have success, it's not just about having good players; it's about having great kids who love to love to be around. Like, I still talk to all the guys who graduated now the last 3 or 4 years, all the time. We've had Zoom calls with my old players, and they speak so highly of their experiences, and so it helps us in recruiting. So I think the love of the game, the love to work hard. Obviously, they have to have skills. There's no doubt they've got to be skilled players. The ability to shoot the ball is so important now. The ability to handle the ball, pass the ball. But if you work hard, you'll become skilled. So skilled guys who love to work hard and love to compete. Guys who just want to compete and have success and do the right things.
Yeah, and the thing, Coach, that you bring up, and it's as I've told you, I've been interacting with a number of coaches, and it's interesting how that's a recurring theme that all of us, what we're all looking for as coaches in the players that we would like to have in our program. But the other side of that, or the challenge of finding those kids, the process. And, I've been talking to high school coaches. I've been talking to their teams about, and I spent the year at Hoop Group. And during that year at the exposure camps, I would talk to the kids about what college coaches are looking for. And a lot of what we would talk about would be the intangibles and the things you were saying, but that takes time and it takes effort from the head coach and your staff to see, okay, what is this young man doing when he comes out of the game because he just committed his third foul? What's his body language like? How is he interacting on the bench with his coach and his teammates? How does he interact when the official makes a bad call against him? All these subtleties that as coaches are so important, as you so well stated. It takes a lot of background work, right, from ourselves and our staffs, following up with their guidance counselors, possibly teachers. It's ironically one of the best players that we ever had in our program turned out, like one of my closest friends, turned out to be his guidance counselor. I didn't even know it when we started the process. Just happened. But to get that additional background information to really put together who this young man is, and can he in fact be a real positive influence on our team, takes a lot of work as a college coach, and kind of not only yourself, but of course your staff being involved in the process to be able to know who these young men are. Yep,
that's so important, and doing your homework. And I always tell kids, like, you never, through the hoop group or through, I always used to work 5-star all the time, so 5-star hoop group and camps like that. You never know who's watching, and you never know when they're watching. Like, I love to get to a game early and watch the pregame warm-ups to see if a kid's serious about getting ready for a game. If you're just you're gonna be a cool guy and just going through things. Their shoes untied drives me crazy.
Yep.
So little things like that. Like, the good players to me prepare themselves for every game the right way. They get ready. Like the use of the body language, how they interact with their coaches, and because things don't always go right all the time during a season for a player or for a team. So you got to be ready for anything. And so, and there's adversity. There's adversity right now in society. There's adversity during a season. So you're going to lose a couple of games. I can't have guys jumping ship in the middle of the season because they're not happy about their role or their shots or their what's going on. So yeah, all that stuff is so important. And I think parents and players need to understand. We do a lot of background, like you said. You call as many people as you can to get the back. And there's more people invested now. There's more as AU coaches, coaches. There's more people who know these kids, and so you can find out. And like a lot of times, you'll call, and I've done this a lot this spring. Call another coach in that conference. Call another coach who plays again. We know a lot of people, so it's like you call, hey, play against this team. How is this kid? He was a great kid. He, we worked hard. We had a great game. He's a great competitor. Or they're down 10 and he just basically packed it in. Like, that's the kind of stuff you don't want anybody saying a bad thing about you. So there's a lot of resources out there now that you got to be, you got to do your background on. That's, like you said, it's not a perfect science. You never know till you gets there. But you do the best you can, and that's part of the process.
Yeah. Coach, now with your kind of extensive experience at a number of institutions as a head coach, as an assistant coach, and now you have a number of years in at St. Thomas. Talk to us about kind of how you balance, especially during the season, your players' kind of ability to keep up with their academic responsibilities and also, basketball games and practices.
Yeah, that's a challenge, obviously, and a good thing for me is my background. I went to school at Wesleyan, so I went to a school where we had to work hard off the clock, off the court, or else I wouldn't have lasted there. Especially a guy like me who was not the best student at Wesleyan by far. But I think it's funny because our guys do better in class during the season.
Yeah.
Season, and it's funny because people always say, "Well, does the season take away from their academics?" I'm like, actually, because of the structure, I think kids want structure. Structure is good, so that when they know it's going to be, class, and we have, let's say we'll lift weights in the morning from 8 to 9 or 7 to 8. Then they have class until 3. Then we have practice. Then you go to dinner. Then you have study hall. Like we have study hall 3 times a week. They do a lot better when it's like that, as opposed to sometimes out of season when it's the times vary sometimes based on workouts and things like that. So we try to do a great job with our guys. First of all, you want to have kids who value education, who know how important it is, and who go to class, obviously. Now listen, I might have missed a class I was in from time to time, but you can't miss very many of them. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta sit in the first 3 rows. You gotta put your phone away. You gotta put your phone down and concentrate on what the teacher's teaching, and you gotta form those relationships. Just like as a coach, I want players who are invested in our basketball program. The teacher wants you invested in his or her class. Take time to go to see a professor outside of class, go spend some time with them and ask a question. Even if you don't have a question to ask, just to interact with the professor and say, hey, I want to learn more about this. So I think those personal connections, especially in a small school where you can have a class of 15 or 20 students. I mean, you can't hide in a class that size. You've got to be part of class, as far as asking questions, interacting, and things like that. So we really try to encourage our guys to do all the extra things. We have study hall. We have, study hall sometimes can be you got 15 guys in a room. That's not the easiest thing either. So we got to find, you got to find a place where they can go study on their own. And we meet with them once or twice a week just about academics and making sure they're doing well. And the good thing about being in a small school too, I can walk across the campus to have lunch in the cafeteria. I'm going to see 4 or 5 professors who I've been here for 7 years now. I know them, and they'll say, "Hey, this guy's doing great in class," or "Hey, you better watch out for Joe. He's not doing so well on this, or he had a bad test last." I'll find out within about 2 days if things are not going well. And that's a great thing about being in a small school. There's a lot more of that interaction from professors, coaches, and that's a family atmosphere. So, but listen, it's a challenge. It's
Yes.
Years of college, it's not easy, and there's hard classes, and it's tough, and there's going to be times when you're homesick, or you're not, your girlfriend broke up with you, or you lost a big game, you're upset with the coach. I mean, you got to work there. That's why I think student athletes do well after they get out of school a lot of times, because they're used to dealing with a lot of different things during their college. Because as you know, playing 4 years of college basketball is not easy. Yep. I mean, you had great student athletes at NYU. I mean, it's not easy to do, and you make it through the 4 years. That's a pretty successful person.
Yeah. What about your practice schedule, Coach? As far as practice times and days, when are your practices?
Yeah, we used to go during the season. We used to go from 3 to 5 or 5. If we go, it's like us and the women will flip flops. So we'll go 3 to 5:30, and then the women go after us 5:30 to 8, and then the next day we'll flip flop. The nice thing about Division II is we have the workouts in the fall and the spring, so we have stuff going on. We can start doing stuff with the team in September. So that's kind of nice. We have the individual workouts, the team practice. We try to keep it pretty consistent. Take our Sundays off usually, and we go Monday through. We play a lot of times on Wednesdays, so we go Monday, Tuesday. One day we go at 3, one day we go at 5:30. Play on Wednesday. If we're doing well, we might take Thursday off. And that's always a nice.
Yeah.
Hanging, listen, you guys play well on Wednesday, we might take Thursday off, or if we don't play well, we'll go Thursday, Friday. and play on Saturday. And, you know, as the year goes on, we try to shorten practice where it's not as long. I'm not a big long practice guy. I think guys lose their focus after 2 hours. So we try to go fairly short and hard. But it's good to be in that routine. I think guys, once you get in a routine, the nice thing is on Fridays here at St. Thomas, we can usually go in the mornings. There's not a lot of classes on Friday. We can go like 9 in the morning, and I love the morning because then you get the whole day. You know, now a 19-year-old college guy doesn't love the mornings as much as us coaches do. But I like get the mornings done, and then you're all done the rest of the day. That's a wonderful thing. But yeah,
and then they actually have more recovery time if you get it in the morning on Friday for the game on Saturday.
Absolutely, I try to convince them that it's great. It's the best thing in the world. But they want to sleep until they want to sleep as late as they can. So it's hard sometimes.
And this year, of course, Coach, it's very atypical postseason.
Yeah.
But what's your normal, what's your postseason like for your players and then also for your coaches?
Yeah. So we've been doing pretty well. So we've been playing until usually the end of March, or with the NCAAs. We were Sweet 16 the last 3 years, Elite 8 a couple years ago. So we played until like March 25th. So, which is too bad. Our guys are on spring break in the middle of March. We always miss spring breaks from the NCAA tournament. So I'm like, if you're interested in spring break, you probably shouldn't come to St. Thomas. We usually play in the NCAA. So things you have to give up. So, but it's a long season. It's a long year, and so when we get to the spring, we try to give them some time themselves. So the NCAA rules are you have to have 2 weeks off after the season. We'll take those 2 weeks off, and sometimes we'll take an extra week after that. We'll have them lift weights. We'll definitely lift some weights. We have a strength coach, and so they'll lift weights for sure in the spring. Less structured time in the spring for them to kind of enjoy being a college student, enjoy some time, just be able to, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not have to come in the gym every single day. We have guys who want to be in the gym, so they'll come in and work anyway, but we'll definitely do the weight training. We'll do some workouts. Our coaches, obviously, we start recruiting right away for finishing up the class we have coming in right now, and then we start on the next year ahead of time. Recruiting never stops, as you know, Joe. It's you never stop recruiting, so we're starting to get ready for the next year. And but the spring, I think for a college basketball team, the spring's kind of a nice time to relax and enjoy being on a college campus. It starts to get nice out. The snow stops. And I've been in places where the snow was still going until till June sometimes. When I was at Clarkson or Hamilton, it was a little bit colder up there, but a little nicer in June, in April and May. You can enjoy the just being on a college campus and that kind of thing. But then summertime comes and we're right back at it.
Yeah. Coach, with all these seasons you've had and been at a number of different places, I've been asking the coaches if they could speak to us about, a season. And if you don't want to just choose one, that's okay. But you have a season or that you can kind of talk to us about that maybe stands out?
Yeah, I think 2 years ago would be a special season for us. We were coming off a really good, our best team. We're 28-6 3 years ago. Best team went to Elite 8, really good. And then that team was basically back for the next year, went 27-5. So 2 back-to-back incredible years. Won our conference tournament, the whole thing. And we lost 7 seniors. So you lose 7 seniors. I mean, that's out of like a team of 14 guys. And the guys who had started for 4 years. So I thought we could go back to being, just being, hopefully go over 500, have a chance to go to the conference tournament and kind of rebuild, And so this was 2 years ago. We ended up with almost all freshmen, almost all new guys, and we ended up going 20, whatever record was. It was a special year. We started out the year 5-0. I'm not sure we were going to win 5 games until Christmas, and we were like, it was one of those things. You're like, how's this happening? Like, I can't believe this is happening. So just kind of just be quiet and stay out of their way.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We were winning and we got some confidence. It was a young team, and I'm like, man, we were starting 3 freshmen, and it just kind of steamrolled. We were like, at one point we're 15-2, and I'm driving home like, man, we're 15-2. How are we 15-2? And the guys just had we had 5 guys who had played behind those seniors in very limited roles. But they were so hungry to play, and they had a chip on their shoulder. They wanted to prove that they were still good players, and that just because those guys left, they could still help us win. They were so determined to win. And then the new guys came in and just bought in, and it was a fun year. We ended up going like 26-5 and went to the Sweet 16. We played the NCAA tournament, and we were down by 21 points in the first round of Lemoyne. In the second half, it came back and won.
Wow.
Played Dominican the next day down by like 12 with like 5 minutes to go. I was ready to pack my bags and head home. We come back and won in overtime and got to the Sweet 16, and no one would have predicted that, especially me at the start of the year. Me and my wife, we were like, well, let's just try to get through this year, and we'll be good again in 2 years. So it's like those years when you overachieve, those are fun years. Like sometimes when you have your really talented teams, there's more pressure because you're supposed to win.
Oh, absolutely.
You know how it is. It's like you feel like this pressure, like we got to win this game, we got to be this. What's our regional ranking, things like that. Whereas the year you're not supposed to win can be more fun because the guys are like we're winning and it's fun and you're enjoying things and you're like, wow, this is great. So I like those teams sometimes more than the but listen, I like talented, experienced teams too. But that was
Sure.
and it was fun because I think and I've been coaching for a while. I was excited as the guys were just to see what was happening. Like this is just great. Sometimes the pieces just fall into place, and that's kind of what happened. And now those guys now, the freshmen are now juniors, so they've had a couple years now of success. And so I'm hoping now. But now here comes the pressure. Like we're supposed to win, so it probably won't be as fun now. But
Yeah,
we'll do the best we can.
Terrific, Coach. That's great. Great story, Coach. This has been tremendous. I think we've gotten a good picture of what St. Thomas Aquinas is about. It's been great spending some time and catching up with you, and I wish you luck, Coach, as we move through this challenging time, and hopefully you have an opportunity to see each other face to face in the near future.
Yeah, Coach, great to see you. Always one of my mentors. Always used to love seeing you at Honesdale. You always come to August
Yep.
Honesdale.
Goodness.
School year. We go. There's like an Italian place. There's like one restaurant in Honesdale, and you get it all. Paper napkins and whatever. But those were the glory days, right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and of course I could date myself, Coach. I've had a number of your contemporaries and guys younger than you even. I have a whole list of guys that I've had on these shows that have played against us.
Sure.
Like when you played at Wesleyan and,
Yep.
Other guys at other schools. But it's been great. It's been great for me to catch up with all you guys, and tremendous to see that you're doing so well.
Thanks, Coach. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Tobin.
Thank you.
Take care.